BuukBug, stories that count.
The Wonder of Stones. By Roma, Gans, illustrated by Joan, Berg. Big stones and little stones, flat stones and round stones. White stones and pink stones, dull stones and shiny stones. Most of them old stones. There are only a few new stones. New stones are made by volcanoes. Melted rock comes out of the volcano. The melted rock cools and new rocks are formed. New stones are made under the sea. But most stones are very, very old. The stones are made of sand and clay, bones and shells. Sometimes you can see the shells in the rocks. Hold a stone in your hand. The stone in your hand may be more than 100 years old. It may be more than 1,000 years old. It may be more than 1,000,000 years old. It may be more than 1,000,000,000 years old. The stone in your hand may be older than trees, older than cities, older than houses and churches. The stone in your hand may be millions or billions of years old. Flat stones and round stones, little stones and big stones. Some stones are so big that they must be broken and moved. When new roads are built through mountain of granite, the stones must be broken and taken away. When a workman breaks a big piece of granite, just think. He sees what no one has ever seen before. No sunlight ever shone on it. No air ever touched the inside of that stone. No soil ever fell on it. He is the first person to see the inside of that stone. After millions of years, this piece of granite is open for us to see. Big stones and little stones, flat stones and round stones. How were stones made? The inside of the earth is very hot, hot enough to melt rocks. Melted rock pushed into cracks in the crust of the earth. The hot melted rock cooled and became very hard. Sometimes the rock cooled slowly. Then many particles joined together little by little. They became large colored parts in the rock. You can see them. Sometimes the hot melted rock cooled quickly. It cooled so quickly that only a few particles joined together. They became small colored parts in the rock. You can see them, too. Some of the colored parts are black like pepper. Some of the colored parts are blue. Sometimes you will find blue and white, pink and black all in one stone. Sometimes you will find only one color. Not all stones are made of melted rock. Some stones are made of layers of sand. Long ago, grains of sand were carried by water. The water dropped the sand, making layer after layer. After years and years, the sand became hard and made stones. Stones of clay were made this way, too. Water carried the grains of clay and dropped them in layers. The layers hardened and became stones. Sometimes you can see the layers. Sometimes you can feel the sand. Many of these stones were made thousands and thousands of years ago. New stones of sand and clay are being made today under lakes and seas and rivers. You can find out about stones yourself. You can make your own collection. Look for stones when you go on trips. Look for stones in your own backyard. Look for layers in your stones. Look for colors in your stones. Big stones and little stones. Flat stones and round stones. White stones and pink stones. Dull stones and shiny stones, most of them old stones. Older than towns and cities, older than houses and churches. Stones may be thousands or millions or billions of years old. And here they are in your collection.
Stories that count. Subscribe now for more.